So many things have been living in here for many years, and the filth in here is, you know, this it's after my son and I donned the appropriate safety gear so as not to succumb in the near future to any viruses. We pulled the seats out. We attacked all the areas that held significant amounts of rodent feces and nesting materials. We went through all of the pockets we could find in hiding places. We did find a 1929 California Vehicle Act booklet, which is pretty neat, as well as a 1940 Los Angeles area street map. We removed the headliner and the canvas on top because it was pretty gross and was really weighted down with yuckiness, and the canvas was just barely there on top. A lot of that wood's going to need to be replaced. There are still plenty of bows left up there, but some came off that were just rotten and some are a bit warped. But for now, it gives you a nice view of the stars up through the ceiling. For the exterior, I just took a hose and put it on the mister setting on the nozzle and used some triple-aught steel wool. And some of the worst areas of the exterior, I used a Scotch-Brite pad and just went at it. And there's like 80 years of grime all over this car. Besides, some areas appear to have some black rattle can sprayed over it to, I don't know, maybe somebody thought they were going to protect some of the areas that the paint had burned through. But with enough scrubbing and a few days of elbow grease, we were able to bring out the original green and black two-tone that Cadillac sprayed on it back in 1927. It is a 27. And it's really neat colors. It sort of reminds me of some of the early Harley colors. So we were able to get all down to that. Some of the ribbing was a black accent over the green, and then if you look close in a couple areas, you can still see some white pinstriping over those black stripes. The front of the car had faced the sun for so many years in this barn slash shed without the doors on that side. I thought that was just going to be pure rust, but I was able to bring out a lot of color on the hood so that it definitely sort of flows with the car now. After I was done, scrubbing down the whole car, I was able to use some boiled linseed oil and a rag and just wipe down the car and then wipe up the excess oil, and it gives it a really nice protective sheen, and in my opinion brings out more of the color that's there. And on the dash, my son spent many hours delicately chipping away at the what turned out to be a silver inlay in the wood of the gauge cluster. I thought it was like a possibly just another wood inlay or some sort of paint striping, but it turns out we have a very beautiful dash that was just hidden under years of possibly revarnishing or oiling or something. But he was able to chip, you know, some crusty layers off, and then we use a little bit of steel wool, and then we use a little more oil to bring out the gauge cluster, and man, it really turned out good. And then the paint of the dash came out better as well, and then all the rings for the gauges we hit with some steel wool and cleaned up. So man, yeah, really the dash just is a work of art. This car had a lot of craftsmanship put in it back in the day. Art. Also on the windshield, on the passenger side, you can just make out faintly a sticker, window sticker that said Arizona Guest. So at some point it had been in Arizona and got the tourist sticker, or maybe for a guest ranch or who knows what. Also, very lightly, you can see an old gasoline ration sticker, the A sticker. Just barely in the right light. I've always been intrigued with the stack of license plates on this car, sort of like trophies or scalps, you know, somebody's collecting for what, I don't know. It's neat that somebody didn't just switch the plates, they just added them on. So I was curious to see how far back the plates went and were they all matching sets. And so here's what I found out when I took them off. This is the front and this is the back. And I've laid them out to the matches, so we are missing some. So we start off, most recent year that this was registered is 1942, then we got the 41 match set, then we're missing a 1940 on back. We got both 39s, we're missing a 38 on the back. And then we've got these 37s. For some reason the 37, the back plate on the front was upside down. And then the oldest plate we got is 36 on the back there. It's interesting that he made an effort to, you know, once all these plates were stacked together, he notched out the top of each plate for this nut here. But yeah, it's weird that one is upside down. I'm gonna put it back that way. So we don't quite get the history of the plates back to 1930 when he purchased the vehicle. We just go back to 36, so maybe it took him a few years to realize how fun it would be to collect license plates. I don't know, but it is cool that we have what appears to be some sequential historical license plates of the ownership of this car. So not every day you get an old car and can see the different plates it had all the years that the plates renewed themselves in California. So it's kind of neat. A little bit of a track record attached to the car.